My name is Heather Manus, and I'm a registered nurse. I was trained as a nurse, but I was born as a healer. And the difference between that, in my opinion, is the understanding of the human spirit. So when I think of the spirit, I go back to the root word. The Latin word is spiritus, which means to breathe. So Pablo Amaringo is a shamanic artist, and he says that every tree, every plant has a spirit. People may say that a plant has no mind, but I tell them that a plant is alive and conscious. A plant may not talk, but is a spirit in it that is conscious, that sees everything, which is the soul of that plant, its essence, what makes it alive. And we're here today to talk about a plant, the plant cannabis. And I want you to think for just a moment, how does this plant influence us and our culture? As nurses, how are we influenced? Plants are our teachers. And this plant cannabis is here to teach us so much. I'm going to tell you a little story. And this is the story of the science of cannabis. Dr. Raphael Mechoulam is from Israel, and he is known as the father of cannabis research. Now, Dr. Raphael wanted to know what it was in hashish that made people high. That question that he had is the reason we are sitting here today. So through this question, he was able to take the hashish and pull apart all of the different components, and he was looking for what we now know as delta-9 THC. But he did find many cannabinoids before that, like CBD, but it didn't get you high, so that wasn't really what they were looking for. He was able to identify these cannabinoids that were in this plant resin. And from that, it led to another question. He wanted to know where in the human body was it interacting? And that led to the discovery of the CB1 and CB2 receptors in our own body. And then it led to another question. If you have these receptors in your own body, what is your body producing that is attaching to those receptors also? And that led to the identification of endocannabinoids, cannabinoids that we produce as humans, anandamide and 2-AG. And so I did not know this when I went to nursing school, but he first published his study in 1964. And so him and his colleagues have had research on this plant, on cannabinoids, on our bodies about the endocannabinoid system since 1964. I didn't learn about this in nursing school, and I'd like to know why. I felt really ripped off after I learned about the endocannabinoid system. Because once I understood the basics, it helped everything else make sense to me. So we've all learned about the 11 human body systems, but we're learning now about the 12th, the endocannabinoid system. Now, why is this system important? The reason is because it creates homeostasis and balance between all of our other systems. It is the largest receptor signaling system in the human body. CB1 receptors are located primarily in the central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, nerves, organs, but also in peripheral tissues. CB2 receptors are mostly located in organs and peripheral tissues, our skin, and have a lot to do with the immune system. Keep in mind that our skin is our first defense of our immune system, and our skin is full of CB2 receptors. What happens when our bodies are not producing the amount of endocannabinoids that they need to sustain this balance? And Ethan Russo had coined the term endocannabinoid deficiency. When our bodies are not producing what we need, in medicine, we supplement things all the time, correct? If we have a vitamin D deficiency, we say go outside, get some sun on your face and arms. If you have an iron deficiency, we have you take an iron supplement or increase your red meat. We supplement for deficiencies in medicine all the time. And endocannabinoid deficiency is real. But we don't talk about it because we don't understand the endocannabinoid system in general. Ethan Russo said, migraine, fibromyalgia, IBS, and related conditions display common clinical, biochemical, and pathophysiological patterns that suggest an underlying clinical endocannabinoid deficiency that may be suitably treated with cannabinoid medicines. Cannabis is the single most versatile herbal remedy and the most useful plant on earth. No other single plant contains as wide a range of medically active herbal constituents. And we are just starting to scrape the surface of all of the cannabinoids and the potential. I think it's important to note that 6630507 is the patent number that the U.S. government holds on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants and antioxidants. All of us here who are medical professionals know that antioxidants and neuroprotectants, that equals preventative medicine. So these cannabinoids are essential to health. It's also interesting to note that over the last 70 years of having prohibition and not having cannabinoids as part of our lives, that we've seen a huge increase in cancer, autoimmune disorders, and neurodegenerative diseases. Think about it. Cannabis and cannabinoids are essential to health. Now that we understand about the endocannabinoid system, we are learning that a lot of these alternative therapies, they're acting at the endocannabinoid system level. There is research regarding acupuncture and movement and other therapies that activate, support, and enrich the endocannabinoid system. Aromatherapy is another way to stimulate the endocannabinoid system. A lot of the essential oils that we would use have terpenes in them that are also found in the cannabis plant. And so we know that those terpenes are doing something to help support our systems and balance us. Laughter therapy. Laughter boosts the immune system and helps the body fight off disease, cancer cells, as well as viral, bacterial, and other infections. Being happy is the best cure for all diseases. So laughter really is the best medicine. It's important when you're working with a patient to document this in their medical records. Why are you using cannabis? For what diagnoses or symptoms, acute, chronic, what methods of administration? It's important to know which methods they're using. And then asking them, what are the benefits and the adverse reactions that you're finding from using this? And it's okay, we as nurses are here to assess and document. And our patients want to talk about this. They're just waiting for somebody that has the ears to hear them and they don't feel the judgment. I am so grateful that each and every one of you are here. We are going to take this knowledge and our newfound passion and our energy, and we are going to be able to make a change. We are the future of healthcare. Cannabinoids will change the way that our patients heal.